My name is Chase Grant. I have a lawn care company called Grow Landscaping, and we did $45,000 in revenue last month, and our goal is by the end of this year to do 85. I also help a lot of people grow their lawn care companies at the same time. But today, we're gonna be going into the next part of this 5-part series. This is part 2 of how to start your lawn care business. So in the first part, as you guys know, I'll pop up a video on the screen. We talked about actually how to structure routes. And that's based off how to break it down in the marketing terms so you know how to scale the company. So we're gonna go into part 2, which I'm going to break down the differences in every single route and the marketing methods you're gonna have to use to do those routes. So first things first, you guys have to understand that there's 2 different type of routes in the lawn care industry. You got I don't know if that's how you spell it, bro. I don't care. I make money. I don't spell. Reoccurring, and then you got okay, so you got a reoccurring route and you got a high ticket route. What is the reoccurring route? That's maintenance and that's fur. And then the high ticket route, you got trees, you have irrigation, and then you got landscape. If your goal is to scale a massive company, my whole ideology, and if you watched any of my videos previously, I do not say do landscape design. I say stay away from landscape design, stay away from anything that's complex that's gonna keep you in your business until you're at the point where you're at $5 million. If you want to be able to scale a company or maybe grow a small location that's maybe doing like 300 grand, 400 grand a year and just make a bunch of mini locations, this is kind of the thought process you're gonna wanna have. This is probably not the same thought process as someone who's gonna wanna scale a $20 million single location. But if you wanna grow a bunch of money-making locations and your goal in this industry is to make money, not to have a big ego, this is gonna be the video for you. So we got reoccurring routes, high ticket routes. Reoccurring routes means you're getting a payment every single month. Obviously with maintenance, you're getting paid every single month. You have a monthly payment, you should be billing on the first of the month with card on file. With fur, same thing. You should be billing on the first with card on file, and it's reoccurring. You're gonna be there you're gonna be charging them every month, not necessarily be there. With high ticket, you got trees. I don't know why I misspelled that. You got trees, irrigation, and landscape. Trees, obviously it's one time. Technically speaking, can you build maintenance within these? Yes, but the big money in trees is one time. It's gonna be tree removals or cutting down trees. Irrigation, it's gonna be installation of systems. So that's gonna be the big money there. And then landscape, when I say landscape, I don't mean landscape design. I mean sod, mulch, and artificial turf. Just for reference, when I build out these routes, you guys are gonna hear me reference landscape. I mean sod, mulch, and artificial turf. Something that's very easy to just measure based off square footage, that you have no design involved, and it's very easy to quote. That's the key on if you wanna scale big and scale efficiently. So you have these 5 different sectors of the business that are divided into 2. You got reoccurring and high ticket. So when it comes to scaling your lawn care business, which route do you think you should start in? Should you start in high ticket or should you start in reoccurring? If your goal is stability and your goal is to, I need money to live, you should obviously start in reoccurring. If your goal is to make money, and a lot of it, you should go high ticket. You're gonna collect a lot more cash in this. People always argue which one's better. The point is you should have both. The biggest companies in the world have all 5. Right? So if your goal is to scale big, you're gonna understand you're gonna be in both anyways. It's just how do you want to start and build the initial routes of your lawn care company. For me personally, what do I teach? I'd tell everyone to get a maintenance route first. It's the easiest, it's the lowest barrier to entry, lowest skill when it comes to actually starting with the least amount of knowledge. A lot of people just start in lawn maintenance. Lawn maintenance is gonna be the easiest route for you to start. After you build one full route of lawn maintenance, say you build a 2-man route, you guys are doing $13,500 a month, $13,500. Now that second route because that first route can pay for your living expenses. That second route, I would go high ticket. Why? Because now my goal is to stack a bunch of cash so I can invest in my company. Maybe I want to pay for marketing. Maybe I want to buy a bunch of new trucks and buy all this equipment in cash. So I need actual cash. I don't need a little bit of cash flow. Mind you, these are going to be lower earning routes for sure. Lower earning per man, but they have basically no upkeep. After you build a maintenance route, after you get 100 yards and give two guys 100 yards to do for the week, it's very hard for you to lose that. It's very low maintenance that you have to do on the actual route. You don't have to do much. If the guys get to the point where they know their routes, you really just don't get a call. You'll forget you have a business and you'll wake up one day thinking, damn, I haven't done anything in the past week. That's what maintenance and FERT can lead to, 100%. You do trees, irrigation, landscape, it's gonna be constantly selling, constantly stressed. It's a different business model. So people compare these and say, I'm gonna start doing either or. It's the same industry, but with the high ticket routes, you sell it in a different way and it has a different operations. So for your first route, you need to make sure one of your first routes is one of these. If you have a FERT license and you want to build it in FERT, I don't give a damn. Just a maintenance route that's reoccurring. You should go one of these, pick one. So if you're starting a lawn care company, you're gonna pick one of these. You're gonna go either maintenance or you're gonna go FERT. After you already are producing income out of these routes, you're gonna earn per guy about like $3,000 to $5,000 a month in profit per guy. So let's say on the low end, you're making $3,000 a month. You got two guys in a maintenance route, you're making $6,000, right? You got a little bit of pocket change. Not really, you're pretty poor. So now that you have your first route, covering your living expenses, then your goal would be to pick a second route that's gonna actually create a fuck ton of cash. Why? So you can build the business fast. And I'm gonna tell you guys how to do that after we go through this. So you're gonna come over here. You're gonna pick one of these. For me, if you guys wanna know, I picked landscape. I picked sod specifically. For a sod route, I can have 3 guys, and for me, I run my business super efficient. I have 3 guys, and 3 guys can produce $24,000 a month. I make $8,000 off each dude, off each singular person in the route. Okay, so when you build 2 routes, you can build 2 routes and produce $30,000 in profit a month. Why? Because you went with a maintenance route to give you some stability, make sure you cover your living expenses. Then you add 1 high ticket route, bam, now you're actually kind of up. You know, you're living a pretty decent life. You're making like $30,000 a month. There's a lot more to go. So after you build these 2, how do you actually scale? So you have a maintenance route. Let's change the color to blue. So you have your maintenance route. This is your stability. You have your landscape. This is profit. But if your goal is to scale up, because let's be honest, I mean, $30,000 may be good for some of you guys, but I know there's a lot of people out there that want to make a lot more than $30,000 a month and have a lot higher ambitions. And if your ambitions are higher than $30,000, you're going to have to know this next step. How do you scale in this business? If you scale high ticket, your business is gonna become a lot of operational drag, 100%. You're gonna have to build sales teams. You're gonna have to build quality control teams. You're gonna have to build a bunch of different systems to actually keep up with the amount of work. Say you were charging $500 a pallet. What's $80,000 a month if you're producing that in revenue? You're closing 160 pallets a month. If you add 3 routes, you have to consistently close 480 pallets a month. It's only gonna get more and more hectic if you go through this route for scale. The easier way to scale is obviously maintenance. And why is this? I mean, you could take a look at the top businesses in the literal world every single one of them or majority of them are in maintenance. You'll find a couple of tree companies, you'll find a couple people doing landscape, but majority of them, their main business is maintenance and their main business is fur. And it's because they're easy to be scaled, because once you build the route, there's not much operational drag. There's not much to do. You see what I'm saying? So the whole premise would be this. You scale your first maintenance route, you scale your second route, which is landscape. Let me say second route. You scale your second route, which is landscape, that can produce a bunch of cash. Now you're at 30 grand a month. The big 30 G's. So now you're making decent money. I don't care what your living expenses are. If you only have 2 routes, your living expenses shouldn't be over 10 grand a month. Say you're spending 10 grand a month on expenses. Maybe that's high for some of you guys, but I live in Florida, shit's expensive. And if you want to be an average guy, you kind of have to have a car that's, the payment's like $1,500. Okay. So you have $20,000 a month to double down, right? What are you gonna do with this double down money? Are you gonna go and start marketing with door hangers again? Obviously not. You have $20,000. This is where you actually are gonna start building a mini sales team. And this is what people don't do. You know, people just let all the operational drag come onto the owner, and eventually that puts a natural limit on your business. You can get your business to the point where it's $1 million a year, but that you're probably only gonna be making like 30 grand a month at $1 million a year. If your goal is to make more, you're gonna have to have a location doing more than $1 million a year. Let's say this, we're not trying to, you know, go crazy. We're just trying to get to 50 grand a month and then start a different location. We'll go into a different location, but we need to get to 50, right? So we have $20,000 of new revenue to be produced. The easiest way for you to do that in this scenario would to be build that first route maintenance, build that second route landscape, produce a bunch of cash, use that 20 grand and double down and get more maintenance. And for you to go from 1 maintenance route to 4 maintenance routes with a landscape route. The landscape's doing a lot of high production, but you don't need like full sales teams yet. You see what I'm saying? Because you're gonna need an ongoing sales team to keep up the demand of these routes. If you have maintenance, you may need to spend marketing to acquire all of it, but after you acquire it, you're good. You can use this money and you got a couple options. You can just buy people's routes. You don't need to put out door hangers. You can hire a marketing runner. That's what I do. I have a guy who puts out yard signs, door hangers, info packets, commercial info packets. I have him do welcome packages to new homeowners that are in the area. You can hire a marketing runner. It's not a high paying job, but hey, you can have constant marketing going out. The best part would be you doing all 3 of these. But you can also run ads. But guess what? Most people will not start like actually scaling one of these methods. What they will do instead is they'll get to this point, they'll save their money, they'll get too scared, they don't want to spend the 20 grand that they're stacking, and they don't want to double down. You can be here in year 1. You can be here in year 2. In year 3, you can have all other 3 routes done. And in 3 years, you're doing 50 grand a month onto the next location. But no, you're too fucking scared because you're scared to lose your 20 grand a month. You're scared that $20,000 a month stacking up is gonna get you retired. Look, you can save for retirement, or you can just build a business that works without you and just make profit without working. Then what is retirement? You see what I'm saying? If you wanna retire, you need to produce a business, and you need to make a business that can produce cash flow, so you can retire and not have a set amount of money that you gotta figure out how to budget. The best form of retirement is having cash flow, is not having a lump sum of money. So let's recap. The whole point, if you wanna scale your business fast, I told you guys how to structure the routes in the first video. If not, I'll pop it up here and I'll leave it in the description. when you want to start like actually building the routes, the first one you're going to pick is maintenance or FERT. If you want to follow my path, you're going to pick maintenance. You're going to immediately build a recurring routes, build maintenance, build a sod, artificial turf or mulch route. You're going to build the landscape route. You're going to produce $30,000 a month. You're going to take 20 home and profit after your expenses, right? Obviously, you got to pay taxes, bro. Like, of course, I don't know every single tax rate in every single state of the entire country. So I can't tell you guys that, bro. That's a little bit too deep. Whatever you have left, you're going to spend it, every single dollar, on buying new routes, marketing runners, or running ads. And that's it, bro. You're not gonna sit here and say, oh, let me save up a little nest egg. Okay, save up 30 grand if you want to feel safe. Spend every dollar after that. You can get this done in 3 years. You don't need to be sitting here for 10 years to make 50 grand a month. That's ass. That's not good. If you spent 10 years to make 50 grand a month in the lawn care industry, you're not doing good. I'm just letting you know, you can make it a lot faster. And at the end of the day, the one thing we can't get back is time. If you want to make sure you are executing at the fastest rate possible, you're gonna have to follow a structure that builds stability, so you don't have to stress. You know, you're not worried about the next job. It will give you a level head of peace. Then you could build a landscape route to produce cash. It's not that stressful building this route. Why? Because you already are set, you're safe. You already can pay for rent, you know, food, you're not stressing. And then right after that, double down literally every single dollar you have and finish the damn business as soon as possible. So you can either move on or make $50,000 a month. And trust me, there's a big difference between 50 grand and 30 grand. You're gonna notice that difference pretty quick. But yeah, this is what the structure you guys need to follow when it does come to what routes to pick and what routes to scale and what you should be doing if your goal is to move as fast as possible. Mind you guys, I don't teach you guys how to build a little ranch with your lawn care company in your ranch. I don't give a damn about that. I tell you guys how to build a business as fast as possible. If your goal is to come in, get this shit done, wrap it up, and move on, this is the person you listen to. You listen to me, you hit this method, and you're gonna wrap it up pretty quick and you're gonna move on. I'm doing it in your eyes. You can watch the vlogs as well. I'm doing it in front of your face and I'm telling you guys exactly what I'm doing. And you guys can watch it happen, or you guys can just sit here, take notes, and just implement it into your business. But just know, when you guys do follow a order like this, it will put you guys in the best position possible where you guys do have as much cash and stability at the same time as possible. So I wouldn't recommend doing a different order. If you guys want to, you guys can. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys have your own free will, but this is just what I have found has been the easiest way to grow a lawn care company to 50 grand a month fast. So without further ado, I'll see you guys later in part 3. Peace.